welcome back. I hope everyone had some success using the model strategy for your addition equations. The next thing we're going to learn is a strategy called break apart. So go ahead and write break apart. This strategy is very similar to the model strategy in that we are going to be breaking apart our numbers into the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. The only difference is we are going to have to put them back together. So another way of using some mathematical language is we can say we are going to decompose the number. Decompose means to break something apart. And then we are going to recompose the number. We're going to put it back together. All right, so the first equation we're going to look at is 812 plus 107. So again, we're going to write our equation the same way. We're going to line up our ones, our tens, and our hundreds nice and neatly. We're going to have our addition symbol and then our equal sign. So this time, rather than use models, we are going to stick with numbers, but we are still going to break apart our number into hundreds, tens, and ones. So if I focus on this number right here, I know that 800s, if I write that as a number, that would look like 800. Then I'm going to look at my tens. If I have 110, I know that that looks like 110 is 10. And then finally I have 2 ones. So if I just have 2 ones, that looks like 2. So I broke apart my number 812 into 800, 110, and 2 ones. If you want to go ahead and write that H at the top of each number, you can, to keep yourself in line. Now we're going to go ahead and write the next number. So now we have 107. So if we break apart 107, we know that we have 100. So that looks like 100. Again, I'm going to keep my numbers nice and lined up. I have 0 tens. So this time, if you want to, you can go ahead and write the number 0 to hold the place. And then finally, I have 7 ones. So I'm going to write my 7 in my ones place. So the last thing that I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to put that addition symbol and then my equal sign. So this time, I am again going to start in my ones place, because when we're adding, we always start adding in our ones place, and we know up here why, because sometimes it might be necessary to regroup. So if I add 2 plus 7, I get 9. If I add 10 plus 0, I know that is 10. And lastly, I have my hundreds, 800 plus 100, that would equal 900. So I told you we have to break apart, which we've done. We've broken our numbers into hundreds, tens, and ones, but now we have to put them back together in order to get our final sum. So in order to put these numbers back together, I need to add them back together. So if I add 900 plus 10 plus 9, you might be able to do that very easily mentally. But let's see what it would look like if I put it up and down vertically. So if I had 900 plus 10 plus 9, what would that be? So it kind of looks like an upside down staircase. So 0 plus 0 plus 9 is 9. 0 plus 1 is 1. And 9 plus nothing is 9. So again, I can think 919, but if you want to go ahead and put those numbers vertically and add them up, then you can do that. So I now know that my sum using break apart is 919. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. This time we're going to add the equation 545 plus 328. So the same way we did it before, we're going to go ahead and break apart our number into hundreds, tens, and ones. So I have 500. I have 4 tens, which would be 40. And I have 5 ones, which would be 5. Then I'm going to break apart 328. So I have 300. I have 2 tens, which is 20. And then I have 8 ones, so I just write 8. So now I have broken apart each of my numbers into my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So I'm going to write my addition sign, my equal sign, and again I'm going to start adding, starting in the ones place. So now I know 5 plus 8 is 13. Now, I remember when I added models that I could not have 2 numbers or 2 digits in the ones place. So we're gonna have to figure out something about that. Next I have 40 plus 20, so I know that is 60. And then I have 500 plus 300, and I know that that is 800. So the great thing about break apart is that you are getting all these numbers that end in zeros. And as we know, numbers that end in zeros are very easy to mentally add. So over here, we're going to go ahead and do that little vertical equation again where I add these numbers up. So I have 800 plus 60 plus 13. So this is a very easy way of being able to avoid the having to regroup. But if I had to, I could think this 10 could very easily be regrouped and move up over here, which would leave me with a 3 here, which would change this number to, if I added one more 10, it would change it to, yes, 70. But if I use this method over here and just add, then I can kind of avoid having to do that, which might be easier for some of you. So if I have 0 plus 0 plus 3, I know that's 3. Then I have 0 plus 6 plus 1, so I know that is 7. And then 8 plus nothing is 8. So that gives me a final sum of 873. So now you're going to go ahead and practice some equations using the break apart method.